Alright, welcome everybody to the Sim Experience 2022 R1 Mazda MX5 Cup, coming to you live from Poznan in Poland. This is round 3 of our 8-round championship. So let's have a quick look. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell, and with me we have Jason Underwood. You want to say hello, Jason?
Hello everybody, good to be back.
Alright, so we have Jason with us. So a little extra, just something to information for you guys. I have specifications of the car that we don't usually speak about. So the car that everyone's driving is a Mazda MX5 Cup car. It's a global spec car. It's running around the world in various different series controlled by Mazda. It's got 160 brake horsepower, 200 Newton meters of torque. Its dry weight is 108 kilograms. Its power to weight ratio is 5.67 kilograms per horsepower. It's a rear-wheel drive drivetrain. It comes with slick tires and it uses a 6-speed manual gearbox. Of course, this is round 3 of our 8-round championship, so this is coming to you live from Poznan in Poland. Next week we'll be coming to you from Autodrom Most in the Czech Republic. Round 5 will be Watkins Glen in America. Round 6 Okayama in Japan. Round 7 Lime Rock in America, and round 8 from Misano in Italy. Just a quick look at our championship standings before we head over to live footage. So current championship points, this is without any penalties applied. They haven't yet been applied. There are penalties pending from round 1 and round 2, so this might change. So currently we have Basil van Rijn for Red Line Sim Racing on 193 points, Sean Olivier for SRR on 170 points, Jean-Andre de Toy for Red Lion Sim Racing 169, Dani van Rooyen Maximum Effort 166, James Leach from Leach Racing on 160, James Crook Red Lion Sim Racing 154, Jean-Andre de Pinard Red Lion Sim Racing 146, Monet de Toy Red Lion Sim Racing 122, Tion Murray from Sim Experience SA 120, Andre Hildebrand from Sim Experience SA on 110, Hilton Nixon from HLN Racing on 107, Dennis Kunter from SRA on 90, Dylan Fasahi from SSRL on 80, Andre Besson from Red Lion Sim Racing on 80, and Hodges Boys from Sim Experience SA on 76. Of course, we do have more drivers, but they're not in the top 15, so we only have the top 15 shown at the moment. Alright, so let's get that off the screen and head off to some live footage. Alright, so we're now live in qualifying, 12 minutes left to go. It was looking like Dani van Rooyen and Basil van Rijn were our two pace setters once again. We'll see how and of course Wilro Dupinard was also in the mix, so we'll see how the event unfolds. Last week, Jason, when you joined us, you had a very different experience because you were commentating while driving and watching through kind of extreme circumstances, but tonight you at least have full access to all the cameras and everything, so you can see things live and 100% one-to-one time-wise, no delays. Everything looking good on your side?
Yeah, Dennis, everything's looking good on my side. Just following the first group of cars going around at the moment, see what times they set. But yeah, it's a good experience, much better than last week, obviously, as it was a little bit of a delay. So I'll be on point as much as I can be, and looking forward to this. It's a nice, good sized grid this evening. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of action right around the track.
Speaking of the grid, we have some new drivers that have joined us. One on screen at the moment is Grade. Grade, I've actually forgotten his name, so if you give me a second I will let you know. It is actually Julian Brains. So he's one of our newer drivers that has joined us, as well as Adib. Adib was with us last week, but some of our regular drivers haven't shown up in a week or two, obviously with the load shedding we've had recently, and then we've had our own server issues as well, which hit us mostly for the halfback around last Sunday. But some of the drivers have been affected by all the events happening of late, so in theory we should have over 30 drivers, so a lot of drivers not making it that have signed up. So effectively half the field only showing up tonight. Alright, as we're now watching Wilro Dupinard, currently on a hot lap. Let's see if I can get some sector times up for us. So currently Wilro is the pace setter on a 1:45.630. Is he going to improve? He had the fastest first sector, and he does. He does a 45.326 at the moment.
He's 3/10 quicker than his first lap. Wilro is obviously a very quick driver in both AC and R factor, so I can only assume he's going to get quicker and quicker.
Yes, he's definitely one of the drivers that's capable of driving any sim. Picks it up very quickly. He's also a real-world rally driver, as is his brother. He drives a proper rally sedan, whereas Yandre drives a rally Hilux Bucky. So Basil van Rijn currently sitting in 4th place as we're watching him. I believe he's just done a personal best, and Wilro has just set the fastest first sector of a 39.9. Basil's personal best now is a 40.095, so pretty close. Let's see, Basil's about to come across the line now. Oh, sorry, that was the other. I looked up and saw the grid, that's the halfway mark. I guess that's for the other short circuit. So Wilro doing a pretty average middle sector. I guess he's caught up behind some traffic at the moment. Quite possibly the traffic is his teammate. So Basil van Rijn currently on a personal best first and middle sector. Let's see if he's able to improve. And does indeed. He goes up to second on a 45.363. That's 0.037 off Wilro Dupinard's time. And Donnie van Rooyen is 0.167 off the fastest time. So the lap times are pretty quick at the moment. The guys are really dropping the marker now.
Four tenths covering the top 5. I'm sure that will get a little bit closer with 7 minutes left.
Yeah, at the moment we see what 5 tenths between the top 6 at the moment. That's very close. So at the moment we have Wilro Dupinard in provisional pole, Basil van Rijn in second, Donnie van Rooyen in third. We have Jean de Toy in fourth, James Leach Jr. in fifth, and Andre Besson in sixth. Then James Crook, then it is Adib, and then it is Yandre Dupinard, then it is Julian, and then it is Moni de Toy, then Hilton, then Brandon, and I believe Brandon is the final driver. Some of our drivers have also had issues tonight that couldn't make it, unfortunately. Right, we're watching Wilro at the moment. He's not on a very good lap, but Basil van Rijn has just set the fastest middle sector of all, a personal best first sector of a 40.059, the fastest middle sector of a 37.1. So let's see if Basil's going to pop in the fastest time.
Wilro.
And he does indeed, a 44.917.
I was just about to say, Wilro set a faster time, and then Basil goes and smashes that by 2.5 tenths.
Yes, I was about to point it out because his final sector was a personal best, but his first and second wasn't. And as I was about to open my mouth, Basil went tops.
Yeah.
So Basil van Rijn currently from Wilro Dupinard and Donnie van Rooyen. So Donnie van Rooyen with a bit of time to find, about half a second off the pace at the moment. I'm sure Donnie's got it in him, he just needs to piece it all together though. As we're currently watching Brandon Roberts. Also a personal best first sector, an average middle sector, and a personal best final sector that's unfortunately still a bit off lap time wise, but at least he did improve. We're now watching Mune Dutoy. You get a brief shot there of, well, I'm not sure why, but that was showing Andre Besson, but he was driving in Dylan Versace's car. Now, I'm not sure why that is. We'll have to look into that. We don't have Dylan Versace here tonight. Unfortunately, Dylan hasn't made it. Not sure why. It's a bit of a shame because he is our defending champion. Right, so looking at Sean Olivier at the moment. Let's see, is Sean going to improve? Personal best, first sector, average, middle. And he pops up to 6th place, so he does improve, only slightly on a 45.735.
Adib's also on a faster lap at the moment. He's currently 2/10 up.
Yes, as we're on board with him at the moment. Let's see if he can come through in the final sector. I believe he's got the last corner to go.
Good exit, very good exit. Should improve here.
And does indeed on a 46.254 to 9th place. So Basil van Rijn in the fastest first sector, 39.860. Lap times are improving quite fast now. I guess the track is starting to grip up nicely as well. Ulrich Duppenaar on a personal best, 39.962. First sector that is. We're seeing lots of greens at the moment. Means guys are setting personal bests. The purple sector time is the fastest overall, a green is a personal best, and an orange is a slower than your best. So Mauro Duppenaar looks like personal bests first and second. Let's see if he improves. Donny van Rooyen has also got a personal best in the middle sector. Seeing a couple of red sectors. A red sector is invalid sector. Guys going a little bit off track and the lap time gets invalidated.
Sean Olivier is almost 2/10 up.
And does pop up into 4th place. Yes, good spot there.
Yeah.
45.516 for Sean Olivier there. So now on board with Julian. Not sure what he's on a personal best at the moment. Personal best first and second sectors. Saw that last camera angle, the way it was going over the curve, lots of sparks. It almost looked like the car was slowing down. I'm not sure if it's just the camera angle. We will see probably in 5 seconds or so whether he improves or not. And he did not improve. Donny van Rooyen currently on his personal best first sector. Personal best for James Leach Jr. as well, a 39.9, so that's front running pace. That would be quite an improvement from 5th place. We're dipping on a personal best middle sector.
James Crook is also up by almost 2/10 on this lap so far. He is in a bit of traffic. Let's hope it doesn't hamper him too much.
As that we're heading, a gaggle of cars heading towards the line. Jean de Toy first as he pops up to 3rd. Demoting Donny van Rooyen down to 4th. James Leach Jr. pops up to 3rd. Demoting Jean now down to 4th and Donny down to 5th. If I'm rolling now on a personal best first sector. We went overtime, so I'm assuming the drivers on these laps will now be able to finish their current laps.
Mornay du Toit is half a second quicker on this lap so far.
It'll be quite a nice jump for him. Having a look at Brandon at the moment, he's unfortunately not any quicker in the first sector, but he's got a personal best middle sector. So James Leeds Jr. is out of the fight, he's now pitted. We have Donny van Rooyen fastest in the middle and in the first sector. Let's see if he can fight back, he's currently 5th place. And it does indeed go up to 4th place. So 3/10 off, but only in 4th place. Got Mornay du Toit heading towards the line now. Let's see if he's going to improve as much as his first and second sector. Unfortunately, his last sector didn't gain as much. He still gained from the first and second sector, but not enough to move up any places.
Yeah, he got stuck behind James Crook through the S's, unfortunately.
Alright, so as we see Adib come across the line, he doesn't improve either. So I believe Sean Olivier is the only driver that is currently on the lap, and he has just pitted. Alright, so let's head to an ad break, and we will be back with you shortly. Alright, welcome back everyone to race 1 of round 3. Coming to you live from Tour Poznan in Poland. I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell, joined by Jason Underwood tonight.
Yes, good to be here, good to be here. It's going to be a cracking race, I can see it happening.
We've just had Dylan Fasaki join the server, so I'm not sure, maybe he's at load shedding or something, but he's managed to just join, so he's just in time. So that's good to see. He will unfortunately be starting stone last from the race, but he has made it in time to make the race, which is the important part. So the drivers are heading out on track at the moment. Sorry, I'm just looking at the timing there. I'm not watching what's actually happening, so let's head off to the live footage quickly while they're getting ready to pull away. I'll just remind you that, in fact, I'll hang tight a second or two. Right, we're away. Let's hope for a clean race.
Last of the late breakers over here.
This is a fantastic corner with a very late apex here. Run it in nice and wide, bring it back, and then get on throttle as early as you can. Keep the car rotating with a rear-wheel drive car. It's quite an exciting corner. Of course, one of our members, Rian van der Vestes, and he's been here in real life. He was fortunate enough to come here. So Donny van Rooyen currently in 3rd place. Let's keep an eye on Dylan Fasaki. Let's see if he's able to make his way up the grid at all. Unfortunately, he's disconnected, so he won't be. I think he might have joined just a fraction too late. Alright, back in the race. Sean Raffair in 6th place. So we have Basil van Rijn and Ulo Duppenaar pulling away. A slight gap now of about 1.4 seconds from Donny van Rooyen. James Leach Jr. hot on the heels of Donny there. Alright, well Dylan Fasaki has loaded back into the server. If he can get going, he can at least still have a race, which means he will at least be in the fight for race 2. So that's good that he's at least here and he can still fight for some points. Alright, so the gap between Basil and Wilro is about 6 tenths at the moment. The gap to Donny van Rooyen has grown to 1.7, so they're leaving Donny standing at the moment. Every sector at the moment is showing green apart from Basil, who's the fastest out of everyone.
Nice little battle there between Jandre, Sean and Andre.
Of course, with Dylan rejoining after the race got going, he's actually come out now just in front of the leaders, so they're going to swallow him up shortly. Basil van Rijn is right behind him at the moment. As you see, lots of PZN panel beater representation here. Confuse me seeing Andre Besson in Dylan Fasaki's car.
James Leach Jr. has got to get on the defensive here.
Right, so Dylan Fasaki is now moving over as everyone's going to be swallowing him up now. Might be able to hang in between the gap between Donny van Rooyen and Sean Ulrich. There's a bit of a gap there. If he's got the pace, he can maybe hang in there. But as we see him there, he's unfortunately struggling a little bit. It looks like quite a few of the skins haven't loaded correctly. Unfortunately, we changed servers as well, so I had to move some of the skins around, but some of them are incorrect. As we see James Crook losing it there and into the barrier. I'm not sure why his car says Alistair on it. Let me show you that was James Crook. So a few changes in positions because of James Cook dropping down the field. So James now down to 14th place. Fastest middle sector by Donny van Rooyen at the moment. So in the previous lap times we had a 44.3 for first, a 44.7 for second, a 44.8 for third. Throughout the field at the moment. We're watching Julian and Monet, and now we're watching James Leach and Andre Besson.
So Wilro was 2/10 faster than Basil on the previous lap. Seems like he's catching slowly. This could be a good fight at the end.
Yes, we're half a second gap at the moment, but that's just fluctuated to a second in the braking zones, I guess, as they got out of the braking zone. Roughly half a second gap. He seems to have the pace on Basil at the moment. Of course, they are teammates, so I'm not too sure how much he's going to fight. And Basil is, of course, our current championship leader. And Wilro has just set the fastest first sector, 39.621. And Basil's was a 39.670, so not much in it. So the two of them clearly pushing extremely hard at the moment, leaving Donny slightly in the dust. Brandon Robert, another one of our newer drivers. See, chasing down Hilton Nixon. Hilton, of course, is one of our drivers who has his own YouTube channel. He streams his live broadcast, so you could always head over to his channel for a driver's point of view if you'd like to. Perhaps something we could do is get the drivers' YouTube links and put those in the post for the races and the future races, so that anyone who wants to watch our drivers live has the opportunity to do that. As we see a bit of a collision there between Adib and Julian. At least we do see waiting on the side of the road there, so that's good to see. We see Hilton in the background going off. I'm not sure what happened with Hilton there, but he seemed to go flying off into the barrier in the background.
The pity about Dylan Versace's disconnect. I mean, he's sticking with Donny van Rooyen. It would have been a good battle if he could have made qualifying and get up there amongst the front boys.
Yes, he hasn't even had much time to do any laps, and his first real lap has been a 45.5, so that's pretty decent and shows why he is our current champion. He just jumps in and straight away he's up to speed. His current lap is on personal best, so I'm sure that's likely to drop quite a lot as the race progresses.
See, Donny van Rooyen's just set a purple middle sector, 37.012.
That's 2/10 faster than Basil van Rijn on this lap in the middle sector. But his overall lap time is near the same. Basil at 44.4, Wilbur at 44.6, Darnier 44.5. So extremely quick lap times. Dylan Versace was on a 44.9 that lap. Only the four drivers currently in the 44s. So this bodes well for Dylan Versace in race 2. Unfortunately, he's not likely to progress further than 15th unless there are drivers that have issues.
Jean-Andre Dutoy and Sean Olivier are, they haven't left each other all race so far. Just wondering if one's waiting for another one to make a mistake.
Or just being very cautious because of previous incidents maybe.
Could be.
Deciding to be gentleman drivers rather than
Oh,
overly aggressive.
Sean's just gone off the track there now.
Oh dear. See him spinning in the distance on the screen, yeah. Nice drift back onto the track there, nicely held. Nice, two
Probably a
drivers coming up on him.
Probably a commentator's curse, that one, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
I'm sure every driver curses when he hears a commentator commentating on them doing well. Right, so Sean being swallowed up here. Obviously lost a bit of momentum, but also has dirt on his tyres. But he's got right in behind Yandre Dupinot there. On his bumper now, going up on the inside.
And a bead's just right behind them.
This is a nice battle between the three of them. Of course, the different lines in this corner. I'm not sure that he's going to carry the momentum there, Sean, that is. But he's managing to hold Yandre at bay, and Yandre looking up the inside but rolling out of it. Deeb in the background is putting a wheel onto the dirt. But not losing any momentum, he's still there. So the three of them nice and close together at the moment. So currently 4/10 between 8th and 9th place. Meanwhile, the gap up front has grown between Basil and Wilro to 1.6 seconds. I'm not sure what's happened, but Wilro has dropped off the pace slightly.
4/10 slow on the previous lap than
Yes.
Basil.
Deeb looking to go around the outside here of Yandre by the looks of things.
You've got to be a brave man to go around the outside of Yandre.
But he might
Just
have a
me.
better set up onto the straight, because this corner is almost flat out in 4th gear and he'll turn in slightly tighter. Yandre might have to roll off slightly. So you might get him into turn 1, but it looks like he's actually also rolled off slightly. He didn't get the advantage I was expecting he would.
He's got a little bit better drive out here, has he? Has a bit. Coming up to Yandre now.
Yeah, this is a nice track to keep cars close together, but it's actually quite difficult to pass. But that's what makes it nice as a driver, is the challenge. You know, you sit behind the car for quite a long time, and when you make the move, it's quite exciting if it pays off or not.
Just sitting behind Yandre in the BMW Championship for a full 29.5 minutes. So yes, it's not very easy to pass on this track. I have to get a little bit defensive here now.
Currently watching James Leach Jr. at the moment. A nice sort of battle there. Jean-Louis Dutoit and Andre Besson on the end of him. And back now with Adib. Still extremely close, just under, well, now it's just over 3/10 behind Yandre Dupinot. So Yandre Dupinot having to really be defensive in this race. Andre Besson did a personal best on the last lap of a 45.268.
Be trying to go around the outside on T1.
At the moment it looks like Donny van Rooyen has started to find his pace. He's just done a 44.431, which I believe is the fastest lap of the race. He's now only 1.5 seconds behind Wilro Dupinot. So will he be able to mount a challenge to Wilro by the end of the race? There's only 5 minutes left. And Basil is too far back. Basil just set the fastest first sector. He must have heard me talking positively about Donny and put his foot down.
While you've been checking that out, Abita's just got past Jandre.
Right, I'm not sure if that was on screen. I don't think so. If it was, I apologize. We're now seeing them side by side though. Fantastic race between the two of them. Showing each other a lot of respect, which is good to see. Some great racing there. Adib managing to get the better of Yandre again. Yandre looked like he had fought back there, but then Adib managed to take the position back from him. Well, let's see if Yandre can fight back again. Previous lap we've just seen Basil van Rooyen do the fastest lap of the race with a 44.211. So lap time's fluctuating a little bit between the top three, so the time between Donny and Wilro has now grown again. As we see Yandre and Adib exchanging pace down the straight. Door to door there. Adib on the inside, it looks like Yandre is going to have the drive around the outside here. Carry the momentum. And of course you'll have the inside into the next corner, which I won't try pronouncing the name of. As we're seeing our leader Basil van Rooyen. We haven't seen much of Basil, he's just been off doing his own thing, heading off into the distance. It'll be interesting to see what's going to happen in race 2, because passing on this track is extremely difficult. So let's see how Basil can progress in race 2. This is the thing with a championship that's this close, with cars that are so closely matched, well, identical actually. There's some races you just don't have the pace. You've got to rely on your second race to get the points over the driver that outpaced you in race 1. James Leach Jr. having a look at Yandre Dutoit at the moment. Nice and close behind him, heading onto the straight. Donny van Rooyen has just done a personal best of a 44.892. No, it wasn't a personal best. Why did it light up? Andre Besson's just done a personal best of a 45.171. Still not sure why Donny's time lit up. And these two at it again, side by side. Oh wait, this is now Sean Olivier and Yandre Dupinot. What has happened to Adib? What is Adib? Why is it showing Sean Olivier? Okay, it was just showing, sorry, excuse me there, I'm just being a little silly. Sean Olivier is actually up the road by a fair bit. So Basil van Rooyen's gap at the moment has actually come down slightly to Wilro. It's now 1.3 seconds. I'm not sure what happened to Basil, but his previous lap he only did a 1:45.102. And he seems to be losing speed at the moment. He's now 1.2 seconds ahead of Will. I'm not sure what's happening here, so we'll keep an eye on that. The gap is coming down. He's either got a problem or he's maybe burnt his tyres out. But there's just under a minute left to go, so they'll have to complete this lap and one more lap. So Basil doing a 45.110 now. So that's 2 laps in 45s.
Yeah, and Will did a 1:44.3, 7/10 faster than Basil on that previous lap.
Yes, and the gap is now a second. So they'll finish this lap. They've actually got across the line a bit quicker than I was expecting, and then they will have to do another lap after that. So effectively 2 laps for Basil to try and make a move, but it looks like the gap is starting to grow again, and now it's shrinking again. So we'll see how that progresses. We're now watching James Leach Jr. and Jean-Louis Dutoit. 2 of them covered by about 0.3 of a second. And of course, Yonder Dupenar and Adib covered by just over a 1/10. These two having a fantastic race. I think this is the battle of the race so far. The game always lets us know that the leader has 2 laps to go, but that's like a delayed message. So when he crosses the line, that's effectively the message. So let's finish this lap and one more. Keep getting a bit of a drive around the outside, but I don't think he'll make it there. That's a bit of a tight corner to make a move. Cars that are this closely matched, you have to rely on the driver giving you space and not blocking you. If the driver blocks you, there's just no way you can get past.
See, James Crook has also joined the party with Gendre.
Yes, it is now
This
a
could be
battle.
Could be an interesting final lap. This
James Leach Jr. getting a nice handful of opposite lock there in the turn 1. Trying to get on the throttle as hard as he can, obviously, to catch Jean-Louis Dupenar. Jean-Louis Dutoit. Oh, there's contact. Ah, that's a real shame. Such a great battle to end that way. Well, James Crook scored nicely from that.
Yeah, he was just sitting waiting patiently, and now he's on the inside.
And has now taken 8th place. He said thank you very much for that.
Indeed, 2 places in 2 corners.
Of course, that puts Jean-Louis Dupenar in pole position for race 2. Unbeknownst to him, unless that was very much planned, I doubt it.
Dive down the inside. He's made it stick.
Nice move.
James is on his way back though.
We're now seeing Basil van Rijn coming out of the final turn, across the finish line to take the checkered flag with Will Dupenar right behind him. Right, where is Jean-Louis Dutoit? Jean-Louis Dutoit has Donnie van Rijn right behind him. Getting a bit confused because the skins are not correct. Right, Sean Olivier across the line in 7th place. Right, now we will see Adib and James Crook coming across the line as Adib does indeed hang on to the place. Jean-Louis Dupenar.
Yes.
Julian crossing the line. And it's just Brandon and Hilton to still cross the line. And of course Dylan Versaki. Dylan Versaki's fastest time was a 44.9, so a pretty decent pace for Dylan. it's just Dylan that now needs to cross the line. No, in fact, he has already crossed the line and finished. Alright, so let's head off to an ad break. We will be back with you shortly for race 2. Alright, welcome back everyone to race 2 of our championship. Round 3 from Poznan in Poland. Once again, I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell, joined by Jason Underwood. And we're waiting for the drivers to get going. Let's have a quick look at our drivers championship. A few seconds to take that in before we drop to go to race. Alright, 3, 2, 1, and we're away. And we're dipping our... We've got James Crook alongside him. We've had a clean first corner. We have a Deeb in third place, Sean Olivier in fourth place, making a move on Andre Besson quite early there. Donny van Rooyen up to 7th already, Wilbur Duppenaar 8th. Basil van Rijn is still in 10th place, we'll keep an eye on Basil. See a bit of contact there in the back with Sean Olivier. Creating a bit of a gap now between 3rd and 4th place. I'm sure Donny van Rooyen's going to be cursing about that. Right, Donny van Rooyen having a look up the inside here. He's got the right line and he's got the place. So I'm sure Olafia having to fall in behind Donny. We've got the two PZN boys, Jean-Ray du Toit and James Leach Jr. behind. Sorry, it's Wilro Dupinot and Jean-Ray du Toit and then James Leach Jr. So Dylan Versace, I believe, is in the green car, which is actually Tian Moret's car. So we'll keep an eye on that. At least he stands out a bit. Just a pity he's not on his correct skin. My apologies again for that. So the fastest first sector for Jean-Ray Dupinot, as it would be on the first lap. Donny van Rooyen sitting the fastest middle sector. Fastest final sector by, it's changing pretty fast, Basil van Rijn. Basil's still in 10th place. Hasn't yet made up the places, so he's definitely finding it harder to get past. Which is interesting considering Wilro Dupinot is now in 6th place already and Donny van Rooyen is in 4th place. Donny is a beast when it comes to race 2. He gets through these packs pretty quickly compared to other drivers.
See, Jean-Ray Dupinot still up front with James behind him and Adib very closely in 3rd.
Just seeing our Alwyn banner going across the top. I haven't reminded you that we're sponsored by Alwyn, and if you have any automotive aluminium or glass requirements, you can head over to www.alwyn.co.za and they can sort you out.
Contact in the front.
So quite a big pack here of guys fighting, changing between 3rd and 4th as they've gone back. Donny van Rooyen has moved up to 2nd place and Adib now up to the lead. So Adib leads. Will he come across the line in the lead? You see Dylan Versace getting a tap by James Leach Jr. And unfortunately they come together and I think that's the end of Dylan's race. He might be able to catch up to the pack midway, but I don't think he'll be able to catch the leaders now. So now
Basil van Rijn under attack. Sorry, Dennis.
No, after you.
Yeah. Basil van Rijn's under attack here at the moment, going down into T1.
And Donny
from
van
Jean-Ray
Rooyen
du
has
Toit.
just taken Adib as well. Now we've seen lots of overtakes in this race. We always do in race 2 as the top 10 is reversed. So Donny van Rooyen now with about a 2nd gap on Jean-Ray Dupinot. James Crook in 3rd. I'm sure James is going to catch up to the back of Jean-Ray. Jean-Ray I know always professes to struggle in these cars, but seems to have a pretty decent race too.
Donny van Rooyen with the fastest lap at the moment, a 1:45.0, with clean air in front of him. I'm sure he can go slightly quicker than that.
And Wilro Dupinot has now climbed up into 2nd place. I'm sure that's not what Donny van Rooyen wanted to hear. Basil van Rijn is only in 6th place at the moment. So Basil definitely having a struggle getting through the pack. Which will certainly close up the championship if he can't get to the front. Toy having a look at Hilton Nixon, a nice group of guys right behind them as well. That's Robert, Dylan and James.
Wilro just reminding Donny that he's on his way with the fastest third sector at 27.5, 2/10 faster than Donny on that last lap.
Now the gap between Donny and Wilro now 8/10 and dropping. But will Wilro be able to get past? We've seen that, it's not so easy to pass. Basil van Ryn's still sitting in 6th position, struggling to get past Sean Olivier. As we see, lots of guys going side by side further down the field.
Wilro Dippenaar with the fastest first sector, 39.7, and now a fastest second sector too, 37.0. So he's on the charge.
Deep in a nice battle with the guys, and unfortunately having to run slightly wide to avoid. We've seen a disconnect unfortunately for Mornay de Toy. I believe he's our first DNF for the evening. We see Julian now behind Andre Besson. But this championship's definitely not going Dylan Versace's way. He's having all sorts of issues in the races, and this race is no exception. Fighting at the moment in 11th place, and he's definitely one of the fastest drivers. Wilro Dippenaar now half a second behind Donny van Ryn. Oh, you see Dylan Versace going really wide into the barrier, just bouncing off it. Just a slight ricochet. Nothing too major, but he would have lost a fair amount of ground there. But we see Adib having dropped all the way down to 14th place now, so I'm not sure what happened to Adib, but he's lost a lot of ground.
He lost the rear end going into the left-handed kink, and had a date with the grass.
So Wilro Dippenaar now right behind Donny, but Donny sets the fastest, or his personal best I should say, 44.9, and Wilro 44.7 on the previous lap. So the gap is now 3/10. That's pretty close. See how they will fight as the race progresses. We're now 10 minutes left, so almost at the halfway mark. There's not much in it between them. So I guess at this point it's who's the most consistent and who can pressure the other into a mistake.
Basil van Ryn and Sean Olivier going side by side. And Basil's made the pass stick.
Yeah, Sean Olivier running slightly wide onto the dirt there as well. And now come under threat from Andre Dippenaar. As we see Julian getting slightly sideways and now coming under threat from Jean de Toy. Taking different sweeping lines. Right, now back with Donny van Ryn and Wilro Dippenaar. Gap still just over 3/10. In fact, it's just grown up to 5 as we head into the braking zones. So lots of action happening. There's lots of green sector time still coming up. Andre Dippenaar sector 1, Andre Besson sector 1 and 2, James Crook sector 3, John Dutoy, Sector 1, James Leach Jr., Sector 2, Dylan Fasaki, Sector 2, Brandon Roberts, Sector 1, Sector 2. So guys are still managing to find some extra speed. Dylan Fasaki doing his personal best on the previous lap of a 45.185. Which I believe on that lap was the fastest lap of all the drivers. 10th faster than Aurora and 3/10 faster than what Donnie did. Gap between first and second seems to be growing ever so slightly. It's now 7/10, now 8/10, back to 7th, now 6/10. So it's fluctuating quite a lot. Donnie van Rooyen has set the fastest middle sector overall and a personal best in Sector 1. So let's see what his lap time will be coming across the line here. Delta is showing the gap is closing, yet Mulro has not set Mulro sets the fastest final sector and Donnie sets an average. So Donnie did a 44.6 on the last lap and Mulro a 44.8. So the two of them are already fighting hard at the front. Donnie definitely wants this win. This will of course be Donnie van Rooyen's second win of the series. What if they're having done here? Personal best on the last lap, a 44.9. So now also finally breaking into the 44s. 44.7 for Basil and Rain. I keep seeing Andre Besson in Dylan's car and wanting to speak about Dylan, so I keep getting thrown off by that.
Wilro's right on the back of Donnie now going into the last corner. If he gets a good drive out of here, he can make a pass into T1.
It's the closest he's been, 2/10.
What's he gonna do?
1/10. Donnie hangs on to it as the gap's now growing slightly as they go through turn 1. But Donnie is having to take the defensive line. Laura's going up the inside. Yeah, I think he's going to have it. Unless Donnie can carry an immense amount of speed around the outside, which I don't think he... I was going to say, don't think he can, but he does.
But very brave there by Donnie, hanging on the outside.
Having a lot of faith in Woolro there. And Woolro
yes,
showing that he was worthy of it.
Not normally the fastest line around the outside, off the racing line. Sometimes it's marbles or loose pieces of rubber or debris. So to keep it on the outside there, very well done, I think.
I think likewise for the inside there, it's also quite dirty to keep it tight without understeering. Understeering onto Donnie was also very good by Woolro.
Good driving all round. Good driving all round.
So the gap fluctuating between them Woolro sort of builds up a challenge and then fights and then Donnie defends. So this has been going on for a while. There's now just over 4 minutes left before we head into our final 2 laps. So Donnie doing everything in his power to fight for the win. Basil van Rijn is still currently in 4th place, so he has made up a couple of places.
Under a second now, Basil is from James.
I wonder if the drivers in front of Basil will move over, and they are teammates. And Basil does lead the championship. Donny van Rooyen is the only driver in the top 4 that is not a PZN Panel Beaters sponsored driver. So will we see team orders coming into play? Lots of action happening in the mid-pack here as we're on board now with Andre Besson, Jean-Andre Dutoy, and Jean-Andre Dippenaar, the 3 of them nicely packed together. Looks like Andre running slightly wide and Jean-Andre Dutoy up the inside. Jean-Andre Dutoy was a bit faster on the previous lap than Andre by over a second actually, so he might, well, he's actually a second faster than Jean-Andre Dippenaar, so he might actually now catch Jean-Andre Dippenaar as well.
Basil van Rijn is less than half a second now from James. So he's caught up half a second on that last lap.
Of course, that is for the final podium place as well. Wilro Dippenaar doing a 44.511 on the previous lap.
Basil's made it past James into T1, into 3rd place.
Right, so he's now podium position.
James is fighting back though.
Moment, we're seeing Hilton and Adib having a battle for 12th place. Quite surprised seeing how strong Adib was in race 1. Not had a very good race 2. Oh, as we see, I believe that's James Leach Jr. spinning off there. He's right rear on the dirt and then countering it and then fighting the slide and ending up on the left hand side of the track. All the while, Dylan Fasaki has made his way up into 9th place, so slowly progressing. Also doing a 44.6 on the previous lap. So that was his personal best time, which happened to be almost identical to the time of Donny van Rooyen, who's out front at the moment. Right, we're right on the back end of Donny at the moment. These two are bumper to bumper, but Laura backs out of it into turn 1, gets a slightly better drive. Will he get a run into turn 2? The gap is closing. Not seeing it at the moment. The camera is now following other drivers, but the gap on the timing has come down to 2/10. Right, so we get the leader has 2 laps to go message, so a lap and a bit. Basil van Rijn is 5.3 seconds shy of Wilro Dippenaar at the moment. I don't think he will get that place, because I think Wilro is going to want to fight for this, having fought so hard already this race. I don't think he's going to want to give it up, even if there are team orders.
Zolder and Donny couldn't be closer. Coming to the last few bends. Or taking a slightly wider apex to try and get the drive down the back straight, going into the last corner. I think Donnie might be just a little bit too far ahead.
Let's see, down the main straight he's catching Donnie slightly, under 2/10. But I think Donnie's line will be enough to defend into turn 1 as it is. As long as he doesn't run too wide and lose momentum. Gap is 2 to 3/10.
He's got a good exit out of T1.
We're on board now with Mulro, having a look up the inside, pulling back in. Good driving between these two. Fantastic to see when two drivers come up against each other like this with so much respect.
Basil just set in the fastest last sector out of anybody by over half a second, just to show everybody that he is still quick.
Of course, the leader is now on the final lap. So Basil van Rijn, as we see him now, third place. Previous lap was a 44.749, Ulrich Duppenaar 44.756, and Donnie van Rooyen at 44.682. Dylan Versage was a 44.584. James Leach Jr. was a 44.982. So lots of drivers actually starting to hit the 44s. Jean-Andre Dutoy was a 44.7. James Crook was a 44.6, I believe. No, that's a 45.6. My apologies. Right, final lap. Drivers coming across the line. Donnie van Rooyen takes the win from Ulrich Duppenaar and Basil van Rijn. James Crook takes 4th place, Sean Olivier 5th, Jean-Andre Dutoy 6th place, Jean-Andre Duppenaar 7th, Andre Besson 8th, Dylan Versage 9th. James Leach Jr. should be next, as he is. We have Julian coming across the line, take 11th place. And then it could be Adib. And now Hilton. And then our final driver still on track will be Brandon Roberts, coming across the line taking 14th place. Alright, we're going to leave it there. We're going to head off to an ad break, then go find some of our drivers, hopefully our top 3 drivers, and we can speak to them in the interview, so we'll catch you shortly. Right, welcome back everyone to our interview. Sorry if there was a little bit of audio overlay there. We have our top 2 drivers and our 4th place driver. Unfortunately, Wilro had to leave. So Basil van Rijn taking the overall victory with a first and a 3rd place, and then Donny van Rooyen taking overall 2nd and Wilro Duppenaar overall 3rd. But we have Zolder de Toy with us, who took overall 4th place. So let's start with Basil. Basil, that was quite an exciting race. You seemed to dominate race 1 with a fair amount of ease. Your race 2 pace was pretty good, but you seem to struggle getting through the field. Now, Donny, we know, is always a demon coming through in race 2, but you seem to struggle quite a lot more. So how was race 2 for you?
Yeah, the start, I just kept a bit back. Yes, it looks crazy, like in that first corner, it's like 4 cars next to each other. Yeah, so I backed off a bit, and as the guys made mistakes, I just slowly came through the back. But yeah, I was chill. It was nice taking, one car by one.
Yes.
And yeah, no, but I must say that the reverse grid was awesome. The guys, yeah, and there was a small tap, but the racing was very clean and decent.
Yeah, we saw quite a lot of side-by-side driving with several of the drivers. So it looked like one of the cleaner races. There were 1 or 2 small incidents, but nothing major. So it looked pretty good all round.
Yeah, no, it was very nice.
Donny, to you, you've renowned for having your bad luck. Tonight you seem to have pretty decent rounds. Your round 2, you definitely got through the field a lot quicker than the other drivers, and you hung out in the front for a while until Basil caught you and made the pass. But at least, sorry, not Basil. I'm talking rubbish here.
Yeah, you are.
I'm getting the races mixed up. Sorry. So getting the win in race 2, let me get that right. So finally getting another victory in the series. So at least closing the gap ever so slightly to Basil. I believe you closed, or maybe it just equaled the points in the championship. So championship looking a little bit stronger for you. How was the round from your point of view?
Well, this round is nice, but in this group, top 3, I'll be happy because there's quite a few fast guys here. The guys are super consistent. So you can't make one mistake, then you lose a lot of time. So I'm quite happy with the results of tonight.
Yourself and Wilro had a fantastic race too. I mean, you guys were within half a second of each other for more than half the race, basically. And
yeah, I think he gave me the win because he was faster than me.
Well,
I tried to back him up, but he was fast.
It looked like he was a lot faster and he would catch you on the brakes, but he just couldn't get a clean pass. So it looked like he was just being a good, respectful driver, not going for a move that put you off. So that was good to see as well. But you guys were side by side several times. It was really fantastic to see.
Yeah, he drove exceptional. He put me under pressure, but clean pressure, not pressure that I thought he was going to take me out or anything like that.
Yes, and it was a pleasure to watch. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it was very nice. Thanks, Dennis.
And then unfortunately we don't have Wilro with us, so we can't congratulate him on his race. But we do have Gendre de Toy with us. So Gendre, how was the race from your point of view? You also seem to have quite a good round. Lots of action from your side as well, and lots of side-by-side driving. But give us a bit of feedback from your side.
Yeah, I was just racing for 4th place because the top 3 guys were pretty fast. I couldn't keep up with their times, but yeah, the races were pretty clean. I think I had one incident with I think Steepy Boy in race 2, but race 1 was fun. James Leach gave me a good battle as well, so yeah, good racing.
Well done again there. Then Jason, would you like to ask the drivers any questions?
Yeah, I just want to ask a question there to Basil. Coming into the second race, coming from behind or lower down the grid. I know there was a bit of chatter between Dennis and I about team orders. Did that ever play a part in decisions overtaking or not overtaking through the second race?
No, in our group, if I'm fast, I'll tell the guy, listen, I'm catching you. But I mean, it's up to him to place his car wherever he wants on the track. And I will, in the chat, I will just tell him, listen, I'm left or right, and that's it, man. But if the guy's faster, I'm not gonna keep him up. I mean, if Voro's behind me and I'm holding him up, I mean, I'm gonna tell him, listen, go left, and I will get in behind him. And yeah, that's about it.
That's
All
good.
right.
That's good.
Any other questions, Jason? Sorry, cutting you off there.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's fine. Just want to obviously commend everybody for very clean racing. Dani, you held off Wilro for, let's say, 20 minutes of that race, or 15 minutes. At what point did you think, oh, he might get me, or were you pretty comfortable with keeping him behind?
I thought that the whole 15 minutes he was behind me. But now these guys, they drive decent, and I sit in their chat, and really it's quite a nice group of guys racing with them. They won't take you out unnecessary. Maybe if there's a late break or something, but no unnecessary bumping or tapping in that group. It's quite nice to drive with them and sitting in their group. I enjoy it very much.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, then let's do shout outs from you guys. So let's start with Basil. Basil, you came first, so you can be first to give us a shout out. Any shout outs from your side?
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Just to the league sponsor, Alvin, and then to you, Sim Experience, everyone in Sim Experience, hosting the league and doing all the hard work. And to my group, Redline, to Yandre, Voro, Donnie, James Crook, everyone, bunch of nice guys to be part of. And that's it. And thanks to Jason Underwood for also helping with the commentating. And thank you, guys.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
And Donnie, any shout outs from your side?
No, I just want to say thank you. This is one awesome league. Every time I race here, I enjoy it. Last year I didn't have that good luck, but things are looking better. And like I said, there's a lot of fast guys here. I'm happy with the top 3. Just want to say thanks for the organization of this.
Always a pleasure. And Jandre, any shout outs from your side?
Thanks for hosting the races. These MX5s are quite fun, and thanks to the team in the second race. They didn't really give me too much trouble passing some of them, so that helped my points. So to them.
That's good. And well done. Then just to let you guys know that in the championship standings at the moment, we have Basil van Rijn in first place. According to this, he has 292 points. Dani van Rooyen, you are second with 262. Jandre de Toy, you are third on 253. Sean Olivier is now fourth on 250. James Leach Jr. fifth on 234. Those points are subject to change. We do have some incident reports still pending decisions from round 1 and round 2, so those points might be affected by that, but at the moment it's pretty close up front there, and it looks like it's going to be all the way down to Basil and Dani, and probably with Wilro workings, we're up there towards the end. Unfortunately, Wilro missed a round, and you do get to drop a round, so I think when that final round is dropped, we'll see the points close up a lot more as well. And then just to let you guys know that our next round will be coming to you from Autodrom Most in the Czech Republic. So that's one of the lesser known tracks from the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic's more known for Brno, and Brno happens to be very similar to Tor Poznan. Then after that we have round 5 from Watkins Glen in the United States. Then we have Okayama in Japan. Then we have Lime Rock in America, and then finally Misano in Italy, which is probably more known for motorcycle racing, but still a fantastic GT3 track as well as smaller cars like our MX5s. All right, guys, I'm going to then say farewell to you all. I'm going to just move you all out of the chat if you don't mind. And then myself and Jason can just do our final farewell to everyone. So, Jason, from your point of view, any takeaways from tonight's round?
Yeah, I think on a track that doesn't offer a lot of overtaking potential, I thought that all drivers, when they did make an overtake, it was relatively clean, and very respectful. So I think the drivers can take a lot from that. They can give themselves a pat on the back. The racing was good. Race 2 was very exciting with the faster guys coming through the track. Some guys quicker than the others. But at the end of the race, the top three were the quickest guys, and it just shows that they quality some races. And yeah, just looking forward to the rest of the season. It's going to be good, and I think this series is going to go right down to the final race. So yeah, looking forward to it. It was an epic 2 races tonight.
Yes, I completely agree with you there. I mean, this particular track seems to always throw good racing for us. We've raced it now, probably I think in 4 different leagues, in R Factor 2, in Assetto Corsa, in rear-wheel drive cars and front-wheel drive cars. It just makes for good close racing, and it seems to bring out the best in all the drivers. So tonight was a phenomenal race, and certainly at the front, the battle between Darnie and Wilra for me was the highlight of the night, if not the highlight of the league so far. I thought that was one of the best battles we've seen, the closest at the front, at the hottest of paces, yet as clean as you can be, giving each other space, going side by side. So plenty of respect there, and it's such a pleasure to see it when drivers are on form like that, and yet they're still willing to be gentlemen drivers. And it's nice to see that you still get drivers like that. Nowadays a lot of drivers don't drive like that, and that's definitely the kind of driving we would like to encourage. So absolutely fantastic to see that.
Yeah, 100%. Especially when the drivers are racing for literally tenths of a second each lap. One guy's quicker by there's 1/10, then the guy behind's quicker by a tenth again. So, like you say, racing at that pace for both races, lap after lap, keeping it clean. Yeah, it's just outstanding work by all of them. So, well done to everybody. And yeah, it was good fun.
And then also, Jason, thank you to yourself for joining us tonight again. Great to have you joining us, I guess, properly tonight, being able to be in game and see all the action and give a lot more commentary tonight, which was great fun to have your feedback and your added eyes.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. It's good. I mean, obviously, I'm new to this, but I can feel myself doing this when I retire from some racing in the not too near future.
But it is quite fun putting a production together. It is a different kind of challenge, but it is still quite fun. And I guess the competitive part of us will always want to make it as good as possible. So that's also what makes it fun.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you're doing a splendid job, Dennis, throughout all the championships.
All right, thank you very much for that. And then on that note, let's head off, and we will see you all next round of racing will be on Sunday, which will be the Porsche Cup coming to you from Road America in America. I believe that is round 4 of the championship there. So hitting the halfway mark once that will be finished. That's also a fantastic championship. And after that, we'll have the British Touring Cars after that championship. We're not too sure yet what will be replacing our MX5 Cup. That is still something that's in the works. But that will definitely be a Assetto Corsa event. So that will be keeping to our Wednesday night Assetto Corsas, Sunday night R Factor. So the drivers that are watching that would like to take part in either sim, we do cover both sims. And then, of course, thank you once again to Alwyn Automotive Glass for helping us as always and being by our side, making all of this possible. So if you have any automotive glass or aluminium needs, you can head over to www.alwyn.co.za. You can speak to Hilke. He's one of our drivers, but he's also the owner and front man of Alwyn, so you can speak to him. He can help you out. And to all the drivers that make this possible, I mean, without those guys, we don't have anything. So thank you to all the drivers, and once again, thank you to Jason for helping me out tonight. And next week we'll have Sean Woodgate with us for our Porsche Cup. So it'd be good to have Sean joining us again. Hopefully that also goes nice and smooth like tonight did. So anyway, that'll be it. Thank you very much. And remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of any upcoming events. Our current events start streaming just after 7:20 on a Wednesday night and 7:20 on a Sunday night. So until Sunday night, we will catch you all then. Good evening.